Welcome back to Let's Play Persona 3 FES. I'll just say Persona 3 because now. One, I don't even know what the FES stands for, and you know. I don't know. Did regular old Persona 3 have some. Or this version have more features in the main story than the original Persona 3? I don't know, I never played the original. Just this version that got off the FES. But you know, I'll just say Persona 3 because that's what I'm doing. So I did confirm his name is Mikoto Yuki. I mean, that is the name they use for him in the manga or something like that. So I was correct. So we're gonna go home with Junpei. Teacher checking us out on what? Like, who's the new kid? And that guy over there, he's the main character. And everyone, all the females, just fawn over the guy. Oh, now that I think about it, this intro right here, as we walk home, we're gonna be seeing a lot of characters that have social links just casually in the background. Which is kinda neat. Gentle spring sunlight is warm. Or maybe not. Maybe it's later on I was thinking of. There's a sign-in sheet in the corner. You can save the game at the sign-in sheet.
Welcome back.
Well, I might as well make that first save once. Now the pain in the ass thing about this game is saving. Look at this. This was the save file that I was, you know, working on. As you can see, at level 87, which is insane. 139 hours. I can't remember why there's two save files. I assume what happened is I beat the game here, and then at the end of the credits, I saved on a different save file. It's like spoilers. Look at the date on it as well. I mean, it doesn't show the date on it like in real time. This is in-game time, yeah. So you can kind of get a general idea of where the end of the game comes into play. But yeah, this was the one I was doing the practice run on. So, you know, look at the time though, the play time as well. 128 hours, 129 hours. That's about as long as we're going to expect, maybe even longer to complete this game. But you know, one thing about saving, as I was saying, is you have to keep scrolling down to get to your save points. Unless you're like saved in, you know, slot 1, you're always gonna have to press down when I hit that. This music. Get used to hearing it. I mean, what genre would you even call this? Persona always has that kind of soundtrack. It's like, okay, let's take elements of rap and mix it in with some jazz. I mean, I like it. It's just, you know, kind of random. I mean, it shouldn't be outside on your own at night. It's dangerous. Anyway, you must be tired. You should get a good night's rest. It's like, we're the only ones here, huh? Oh, hi, what are you doing? Just looking around. Well, there's not much to see. Probably pretty tired, huh? Maybe you should go to bed early. Yeah, it's like, you know, the first time, it's, you know, always a slow start. It's a trend that just might spread all over town. Our next story is about the cherry blossoms. It's springtime and they're all over town. Blossoms this year were a little late compared to all years, but they'll be at their peak this spring. Japanese and their cherry blossoms, which, you know, makes a lot of sense, which, you know, cherry blossoms grow there. You know, cherry blossoms can be grown outside, you know, in all countries that don't actually have them, but, you know, it's a bit different then, isn't it? Look at the way he runs, it's weird. Also, you can use toilets. Now the thing about using a toilet in this game is, if your character is tired, well, from going through the dungeon areas, or, you know, overworking themselves or studying stuff. Yeah, your condition has become great. It was okay, now it's great. Sometimes it'll be negative, and sometimes going to the bathroom will actually recover you from that condition and make you feel as good as new. Apparently taking a piss really does help out. So if I recall correctly, our room is all the way on here. These other rooms are kind of empty right now. I'm not going to go into all of them, I'm just going to show you just what they look like on the inside. They're kind of a bit shit, isn't it? The thing about this is, you know, there's a bunch of empty rooms, but there will be characters that will move into some of these rooms. Yeah, this right here, this nameplate says Akihiko. There's someone inside. Is that Mitsuru? Busy now, sorry, I'm gonna come back later. I like how they don't give you the character points right away, because they're like, they want to keep this guy a mystery. Because it's like, yeah, well, you don't know who Akihiko is yet. You just know he lives here. No, actually, have I even got him? What about this? Start? Select? I think we might just not have the option to open up a menu yet, I don't think. I think Yukari's room is here. Yeah. Her room's directly above ours. Mitsuru's room, I can't remember. It wasn't this one. I think it might be this one. Don't know why I'm even bothering to show you this. Yeah, this is Mitsuru's room. I know there will be another character joining later in the game. This will be their room. I don't remember if this room gets used or not. So I can get ahead of myself here, clearly. This room here, it's locked. But we will get to see what's in there, you know, sort of soonish. Got more toilets up here. And you got this, which is, now this is going to come into play soonish as well. But it's basically not somewhere where you're going to be visiting much at all, really, outside of one occasion. Basically the rooftop. Now they've got, you know, 2 sets of toilets, which seems excessive, but then again, maybe they only have the one toilet in this toilet, basically, so it makes sense. You feel tired, you get some rest.
I'm going out for a bit. Didn't you see the newspaper? There's a lot going on.
I know. People who had no problems before are suddenly developing acute cases of apathy syndrome.
It's like, what is apathy syndrome? Well, it's a main driving point of the game that we will learn about in due time.
I've seen it in the news quite often lately. They say it's due to stress, but...
Yeah, right. It has to be them. Otherwise, it's not worth my time.
You have a one-track mind. Will you be okay on your own? The chairman will be here for the next few days, but after that, I can...
Don't worry, I'm just getting a little practice.
This isn't a game, Akihiko.
Yep, it was obvious that guy's Akihiko. I mean, we knocked on his door, and there's only one person who it could possibly be that would come downstairs to go out. We saw him earlier, you know, he's popular with the ladies. My guitar is way out of tune. I can imagine that. If I were in a JRPG, my weapon would be a guitar, and I wouldn't hit people with a guitar. I would just play, like, okay, I'm gonna play an out-of-tune chord attack. It's like, my ears! You overhear a conversation. Did you hear the rumor? Oh, something about a bathroom? No! Not that one, I mean the story about the birth system. Not only did she stop coming to school, she does nothing but sit and stare at the walls all day. Her mother tries to talk to her, she only mutters to herself, he's coming, he's coming. Huh? How about that? Don't believe me? This spell's wrong. I'll just say it right now. Apathy syndrome. That's basically what it is. It just kind of makes people kind of become a shell of a person in a sense. They just kind of shut down mentally. So I could have just let the game explain that, but you know, might as well get that out of the way right away. It's like that. It's basically that, but you know, there's a mystery to it. We don't know quite what it all means yet. Also, I gotta pay attention to this one. This is the first, time to get called in class. On your textbooks, and we'll take a look at the first novel by Shinzo Asai. I hear them. I'd rather teach Utsubo Kubota. He became famous as a singer, but he's also played sign language. I wonder why it's not in the textbook. I will just bring Kubota's book. Hey Junpei, were you listening? Who did I say was my favorite author? Yeah, when I was doing a practice run of this, I completely forgot what she said instantly. I had to look it up and just confirm. I was paying about as much attention as Junpei. Who's she like? This guy, Utsubo Kubota. That's right, you were listening to me after all. Well, you know how I like to pay attention. Man, you saved my baby, Makoto. You hear your classmates whispering. Makoto gave him the right answer, you must pay attention to class. Keep him slightly more popular. Your charm has increased. You want to, at every given opportunity when it comes to answering a question in class like this, always get the right answer, because your charm increases. And it's a pain in the ass to raise some of these stats. So the walkthrough I'm going to be following recommends focusing on raising courage first, because that's the hardest to raise. And it does make sense to get that one out of the way, because the first available social link for maxing out one of the free stats is basically courage. So it makes sense to get that one out of the way first. Since classes have ended for the day, you decide to go back to the dorms. That fat guy's a social link. Those two old people are a social link. That cat is not a social link, but the guy that ran past is. Certain all is lively in the evening. I nearly maxed out the old people's one in the practice run. I got to rank 8 or something. Which I don't think I even got that far.
He's back.
When I originally played the game, because I wasn't following a walkthrough or anything. So some social links got neglected because the only thing in this game is when you get social links going, assholes just want to freaking hang out with you. They'd be like, oh, it's a Sunday, so can we hang out on a Sunday? And it's like, no, I want to focus on raising this other social link, or raising stats. But no, I'll spend a whole day hanging out with you, and you can turn them down, which is what I'm probably going to do. But it just makes me feel bad.
So, this is our new guest. Good evening. My name is Shuji Ikutsuki. I'm the chairman of the board for your school. Ikutsuki. Hard to say, isn't it?
Ikutsuki. Not really. There are harder names than that. Freaking, back to my little busters, let's play on the end channel. That called Sasami Sasasegawa. Now that is a tongue twister of a name, especially if you say it over and over again. There's just so many sa's. It's ridiculous.
That's why I don't like introducing myself. Even I get tongue-tied sometimes.
Hell, the character is mentioned, she got tongue-tied trying to say her name one time as well.
Please, have a seat. I apologize about the confusion regarding your accommodations.
You can... Well, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? I mean... It must be super rare that the translation of a Japanese game is done by, you know, British translators. And the reason I'm saying that is because apologize has the Z. American English loves the Z. Whereas, you know, regular British English would have an S. But honestly, I can understand why it'd be a Z. Because, you know, apologize. It sounds more like a Z than an S, but that's the way it is, and, you know, it's like, I can understand why they do it, it just bugs me because it's not British. It's like when I see, you know, color without the U. It doesn't make sense because where in color sounds like there would be a U there, but, you know, because British, it, you know, bugs me when I just see it, you know, spelled C-O-L-O-R instead of having the U before the R. Whatever, plot.
However, it may take a while longer before you receive the proper room assignment. Is there anything you'd like to ask?
Why are you here?
To welcome you, of course. Well, to be honest, I do have other business here. Speaking of which, where's Mitsuru, Yukari?
It doesn't sound like a guy saying one name. It's like, where's Mitsuru Yukari? You have to have that little pause in between to emphasize. No, I'm not saying a full person's name here. I'm saying, where's Mitsuru Yukari? You just said it all at once. Well, that'd be confusing.
She's upstairs.
As diligent as always, although it doesn't hurt to come down and say hello. Is there anything else?
Who else lives here?
There were only 4 students in this dorm. You, Yukari here, Mitsuru, and a senior named Akihiko Sanada. I hope you all get along. Any other questions?
The old nurse saw...
You saw something strange. Like what? You were probably just tired. I wouldn't worry about it.
Something doesn't seem right.
Do you have another question?
I'm good.
Then I hope you have a successful school year. Now, if you'll excuse me, you must be tired from all the excitement. You should go to bed early. As they say, the early bird catches the bookworm.
What?
Please forgive the pun.
What? Yeah, this guy is all about the bad pun jokes.
You'll get used to his lame jokes.
Think we're gonna begin? Oh wait, no. Now we're seeing behind.
Working hard?
The whatever. Now we're seeing that not all is as it seems.
So, how's he doing?
We're being spied on.
He went to bed a little while ago. He's asleep now.
We are clearly of interest to these people.
Mr. Chairman, do you think he's...
Well, let's wait and see for now. The dark hour is approaching.
What is the dark hour, you might ask? Well, we're gonna see it come into play right now.
That was the Bayside Rockers. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Be sure to tune in again next week. KJ out.
Totally.
The preceding program was brought to you by Caricho Electronics.
Doesn't it make it look like this guy's gonna be important? It's not. He's not important.
Excuse me.
We're not even gonna meet this guy. He's just here to show us something happened. This is what we saw as we walked to, you know, the door. Random coffins. And this guy is not in a coffin. So, you know, understandably, we've been freaking out at something like this happening. My hair's like the protagonist, but I'm not the protagonist, so I'm screwed. Time for the dark hour.
He's still sleeping. The dark hour occurs every day at 12 midnight. You could say it's the hidden hour. During this time, an ordinary person transmogrifies into a coffin and is oblivious to all that occurs.
Yeah, that's basically why everyone turned into a coffin now. You know what I find funny though? Is how he's explaining this now. You gotta explain it to the player. But he's just explaining this to these two basically, when you think about it. And they know well what this is all about because they've experienced it before.
Then he must be...
I guess Yukari might be a bit more into it though, I guess, really.
As you can see, he's retained his human form. He's asleep, but he's definitely experiencing the dark hour.
As did that unfortunate man in that cutscene.
The only question that remains is whether or not he has the potential. Although, he must. If he didn't, they would have preyed on him by now.
Scary.
In any case, we should continue to monitor him for a few more days.
Yes, sir.
I feel kind of bad, though, spying on him like this.
Here we go with this time. Velvet Room in production. We're on an elevator in this game. It's kind of funny, in Persona 1 it was so casual.
Welcome to the Velvet Room, my dear young man.
It's like it's made a bit more of a big deal, you know, in this game.
My name is Igor. I am delighted to make your acquaintance.
You know, in Persona 1, Igor was... I suppose you could see him as a supporting character, really, in this game and all that as well, but, you know, feels like he plays more of a role of sorts. And, you know, he has an assistant. He didn't have an assistant in Persona 1. It's like you hear the music, and the piano playing, right? In Persona 1, those were actual characters. There was a woman singing in the Velvet Room. There was a guy playing the piano in the Velvet Room. They don't seem to exist in any games after, you know, the first three. So they're not there in 3, 4, and 5. I remember reading something about, like, it's like, oh yeah, they're still there, it's just the protagonist can't see them or something, you know? Feels like a bit of a cop-out, really. It's just like, yeah, these characters that were just in the background, yeah, let's just ignore them. They're not there right now, because they're not important. I can't remember if they even had any role. They were just kind of there. I'm not sure if they had much of a role in Persona 2, which has 2 games. I think they added, like, a painter or something in one of those games, who did have something to do, but that's about it. It's like, from Persona 3 onwards, it's basically just been Ego and his assistants. Gets a new assistant every game, it seems. I don't know why. I mean, from Persona 3, with the lore I can understand. I'm not so sure about, you know, the difference between Persona 4 and 5. Nor 100% sure on that, why it would be different assistants. But, yeah, it's kind of weird. And, you know, in Persona 1 and the 2 Persona 2 games, there was this one character, I forget the guy's name, but he's the guy who actually gives out the personas. Ego is actually his assistant, but the character is completely ignored from Persona 3 onwards. They're just like acknowledged in the form of a butterfly. That's all their appearance gets beyond that. Which is a shame, because it's kind of an interesting character, but like, I guess given what I've heard about the last Persona 2 game, it would kind of make sense why he'd be like, you know what, you can take backseat, Ego, you take over, you deal with this shit, I'm just gonna chill in the background, you know. Because, you know, shit gets real crazy sometimes. Anyway, on the blog.
This is Elizabeth. She's a resident here, like myself.
Pleased to meet you.
We're going to be getting some weird side quests together.
This place exists between dream and reality, mind and matter. It's been years since we've had a guest.
I wonder what the gap in time was between this game and the last Persona 2 game they made. It's quite a big shift in all kinds of ways, really, isn't it? Gameplay, graphically, all that. I'm pretty sure Persona 2, those games are on PS1 originally, aren't they? Is there a document you signed at the door?
Only those who have signed the contract can enter this place. Henceforth, you shall be welcome here in the Velvet Room.
Now, I keep rambling, and sorry, but the one thing that really annoys me, you know, I mentioned in the previous part, Atlas clearly don't give a rat's ass about Persona 1 and 2 Persona 2 games, because they've not really bothered with that at all. It's like they did the remake on PSP years ago, and that's about as far as they've gone there. But you know, one thing that really bothers me, there's the reason why I haven't bothered trying out Persona 2, is because there are 2 Persona 2 games. And they only did 1! If I were to, you know, try to play, you know, both games, I'd have to freaking track down a super expensive copy on the PS1. And I'm not sure if it was even released here in, you know, UK and Europe. I'm not sure. It's a huge clusterfuck. They never bothered to, you know, port those early games, and I can understand why to an extent, because the gameplay is really archaic. It's a bit clunky and slow compared to, you know, Persona 3, 4, and 5, but still, it bugs me that, you know, the best chance you get with that is probably, you know, use memory, because otherwise it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. Or, you know, you're not even going to bloody find a copy of the bloody game, because it's probably rare. It's annoying, man. But yeah, so on the block.
You are destined to hone your unique ability, and you will require my help to do so.
You know, back to the script. You know, this game right here. If they had went through, you know, and discontinued the PSN on the PS3, this game would have also become unavailable as well, wouldn't it? This game would become rare as well, because you wouldn't be able to buy it on the PSN, because they didn't at that point have a version of it on the PS4 PSN. So it's like, yeah, they could have screwed this game over too, but then they're like, no, we're gonna release versions of it onto the PSN on the PS4, we're gonna keep it on the PSN on the PS3, and we're also going to remake it. So at least this game is getting some love. But, you know, the games that came before it still kind of, you know, dead, basically. I wonder what it'd be like if they remade those games, because those games are very different to Persona 3 and 4 and 5. No social links. They do have, you know, story. They do have some character development and stuff like that. But gameplay's slow and clunky. And there's a lot of that awkward early PS1. Well, not even PS1, because I've never played Shin Megami Tensei, any of the games. But I have seen what the original Shin Megami Tensei looks like. And it looks similar to Persona 1, graphically. Where it has that dungeon crawl, you know, old school first-person perspective where you move towards like boom, 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 boom. Awkwardly turn, boom, boom, boom. Random encounter, boom, 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 boom. Random encounter, boom, boom, boom. Random encounter. So yeah, if they ever were to remake a game like that, what would they do? Would they make it... Would they add social links? Would they keep it as it is, but maybe change the gameplay so it's not as slow and clunky? Maybe have it so... I don't know, because, you know, in Persona 1, they didn't have the same kind of enemy thing. There were clearly more Shin Megami Tensei inspired, because it was basically a spin-off from those games originally, where the enemies weren't just seen as, you know, shadows. Japanese, they were seen as literal demons. So it's a bit different. If they were to remake that, they'd probably change it so it'd be like shadows or some shit, wouldn't they? I don't know. Just a thought.
I only ask one thing in return.
That you shut up and let me speak.
That you abide by the contract and assume responsibility for the choices you make.
This is a dream.
Precisely. You are fast asleep in the real world as we speak. This visit of yours is merely a dream. However, you will come here of your own accord, sooner or later. Hold on to this.
Obtain velvet key.
Till we meet again.
Of course, we don't get a physical-looking key. Not that in older RPGs, you know. Hell, even in newer ones, you know. It's like, we're not gonna freaking have, like, an actual model of an item appear on screen like that. That's too much effort. These games take forever to freaking make, you know. So, it's like a waste of time and resources. Feels like you had a strange dream. However, it's time to go to school. There's quite a few in-game days at the start where you don't really get to do too much. So, you know, I'm wondering why I even bothered to copy and paste the part of the walkthrough I'm going to be following. Because basically, I want to have the morning, well, the weekly routine, right? Because it's got it marked for, like, in order to max out courage, go for that first. And basically you have scheduled to follow from Monday to Sunday, and basically have a point where it's like, okay, and for the dungeon crawling aspect, do that on a Saturday if you must, kind of thing. Does that make any sense? It's like just so that you can max out these stats. What's up, man? Today's the perfect day. Sky's blue, we're young, what more could we ask for? I think you need to rest, you're full of energy. Of course, dude, listen to this. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to say anything. Sorry, man. Man, can you imagine if I voice act the character in this game? Like, not in a Let's Play, but straight up, officially voice acted. That'd be weird. I'm Mr. Koda. I'll be teaching you classic literature. I'll be teaching you about good old Japan. Some people say classic literature isn't relevant to everyday life, but oh, how never. Students, the other teachers, wrong. Nobody really understands classic literature. Can you imagine if they actually said it like that? Classic lit. This classic lit is lit. You feel tired. You'll occasionally get moments like this where, you know, the teacher's so boring that you kind of fall asleep, and you get the option to sleep, which is, why would you do that? Close your eyes for a few minutes. So you can doze off, it does nothing. You just probably skip the rest of this short lecture of sorts. But if you stay awake, you get the rest of this, and your knowledge goes up. Your academics, or wherever it's called. So why would you ever doze off? That's the question. I mean, maybe on a second playthrough everything's maxed out and it's like, screw it, just doze off. But that's not the case here, so we're going to stay awake. Hey, are you all listening to me? Wake up, children, now open your textbooks. First on your R's, this is Issei Monogatari, The Origin of Japanese Literature. It's a very interesting story that you youngsters might call it the bomb. I was just gonna say, you know, would the Japanese have a phrase equivalent to saying the bomb? But then I can imagine him actually saying the bomb. You know, because occasionally Japanese people will throw in some random English into their sentence, and it's just really random. That would be kind of funny. Can you imagine that you're in school, you're just a transfer student to Japan, and then you hear your Japanese teacher, he's speaking Japanese, and then he goes, da bomb! Like, snicker. I can tell you people are zoning out. You stayed up and listened to the lecture. Your academics increased. Academics takes forever to max out. It takes forever to max out anything. Yeah, for some reason, it says full right there, right? I thought it said Fuji. It's like, what? So I had to go home with Junpei. By the way, that thing right there is actually kind of relevant. The phases of the moon. I think it was relevant to an extent for Persona 1 as well. But it's definitely completely relevant in this game. The station is bustling with students on their way home. I wasn't paying attention to the background, it was probably a character that could have commented on. That tune I will inevitably have a social link with. It's the dark hour. Shame they didn't call it the midnight hour. I could just start breaking into song, you know. In the midnight hour. But it doesn't work with dark hour.
How is he?
The same as last night.
Very interesting. Even those who have the potential tend to be unstable at first. Memory loss, disorientation.
Disintegration.
But this subject is rather unique. He hasn't exhibited any of the common symptoms.
But we're treating him like a guinea pig.
I understand your concern, but it's imperative that we recruit new members. I heard he's your classmate. Wouldn't you be more comfortable working with someone from the same grade?
Yeah, I guess. But still.
Command room. Is that you, Akihiko?
Oh, this is the point in the plot.
You're not gonna believe this. This thing is huge. Unfortunately, I don't have time to talk. It's chasing me. I wanted to let you guys know. I'm almost there.
You laid it right
Does
to
that
us.
mean he's bringing that thing here?
Mr. Chairman, let's suspend our observation for now. We'll prepare for battle.
Right. Be careful.
Akihiko!
Senpai!
I'm all right. Get ready to be surprised. It'll be here any second.
This is no time to joke around.
It's one of them, Akihiko?
Yes, but not an ordinary one.
What the? You've got to be kidding me!
Mr. Chairman, please head for the command room. Takeba, go upstairs and wake him up. Then escape out the back.
But what about you two?
We'll stop it here. You led it to us, Akihiko, so I'm afraid you'll have to fight.
Like I had a choice. What are you waiting for, Yukari? Go!
I'm going!
You are awoken by a loud noise. You hear commotion down the hall. You decide to go take a look.
Wake up!
Yeah, way ahead of you.
Sorry, I'm coming in! I don't have time to explain. We have to get out of here now!
Ah, sure, okay. I'll need to ask questions.
Hurry, downstairs! We'll leave through the back door. Wait! Take this, just in case.
Gary handed you a short sword.
Okay, let's go.
So short you can't even see it. We'll see it in battles, of course, but outside of that. Well, I guess we will see it outside of that. Well,
Alright, we should be safe now.
Are you sure?
Takeba, do you read me?
Yes, I hear you.
Be careful. There's more than one enemy. The one we're fighting isn't the one Akihiko saw.
Well, that's
What?
reassuring.
Let's pull back.
You know, I can't even remember who even going. It's been a few years, you know, since I really played. My voice actor's left. What are we going to do? There, downstairs. They're downstairs. Do we have no place? Yes. Whoa, whoa. What are we gonna do? We're going up all. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going. Actually, yeah. Well, what should I do? You're supposed to be the one in charge here. I'm a newbie.
What was that?
My voice actress is back.
It's getting closer. Keep moving, hurry!
It's invisible. Or rather, it's because they didn't want to animate it coming up the stairs because it'd be kind of a glitch. Oh yeah, if we go through here, yeah, we get to the roof. This is, I think, the one time you actually come out here. I can't remember if there's any allocation maybe.
I think we're okay for now.
I don't think so. What about that other door though? Where's that going? Kind of weird how they have this blood reds. I don't think it is blood. I don't know, maybe it is. But there's like, there hasn't been a killing spree going on in this area. There must just be some weird red goo. Look at this, guys. But yes, I must carry around my face to be able to see.
Those monsters. We call them shadows.
We call them demons in Son of Wong. Noticing something here? It's like, huh, she's gonna shoot herself. Was that like a last resort? It's like, you know, in case of emergency, just shoot yourself. It's not quite what you think. Or maybe you've already picked up on what's going down. It's so fucked up though. Like, go off.
There.
Shoot yourself.
Wait.
This is just freaking crazy, man. Can you imagine the complaints this game would get if this became a popular thing? You take the gun, put it to your head, pull the trigger, and you just suddenly out of nowhere, it's gonna say it.
Persona.
Even though we get no explanation on how he suddenly knows that this is called persona and this is how you trigger it. Why is it every time a character for the first time uses persona they always look batshit insane?
And I am thou.
They always look like the villain.
Sea of thy soul I come. I am Orpheus, master of strings.
As we suspected.
I don't get it why every persona game seems to insist on a different way of summoning personas. In this game, they need this device to shoot themselves in the head to summon the persona. In Persona 4, they just freaking summon it like nothing. I can't remember how it worked in Persona 5. It's always a different gimmick every time. There's no consistency. I guess it's to do with the theme of the game. Like sort of free kind of deal with games. So you gotta put the gun to your head and pull the trigger to summon a persona. But again, could you imagine if this caught on? Like a bunch of kids, you know, have fake guns going around, shoot themselves in the head. Can you imagine what people would think? It's like, what were you thinking, Atlas? I mean, granted, you know. I mean, would Japan even have toy guns or anything like this? It would still be pretty freaking morbid to see. You see a bunch of kids putting a fake gun to their head and like pulling a drink going, Persona! It's like, yeah, let's just go with, you know, Persona 4 or 5, you know. Persona 4 is kind of like, you know, Persona and maybe do like a twirl or some shit. Or Persona 5, have a mask on and just tear off Persona! But pulling the trigger of a gun to your head, yeah, that's a bit fucked. They're not actually shooting themselves, but that's the trigger. I guess it's because in order for them to summon their personas, they have to basically be willing to give up their life. So that's a signal that you're like, okay, let's do this shit. Which is pretty dark and fucked up. And the protagonist, he didn't really have much hesitance there. I guess he must have been hearing, you know, that old, thou art I and I am thou. I'm your persona, bitch. Now say persona to summon me, because how would he know that all he needs to do now is say persona, and pow! Orpheus is here to save the day. I don't know, it just bugs me sometimes, stuff like that.
What on earth is that?
Especially the way the protagonists and the main characters always look evil when they summon their persona for the first time. It's like, are we the heroes or the villains? Because you're looking pretty evil there. God, this part's gonna go 50 minutes as well. Sudden swell of power subsided. Orpheus regained its original form. I'm gonna assume the form it just took on is maybe his ultimate persona, which I've never obtained. I'm not sure if you can get it on the first playthrough, honestly. It's like the Persona Compendium, or whatever the hell it's called, you know, the collection of all the personas of the game. I think I only got like 57% on my first playthrough, so it's pretty hard to get all the personas. I definitely didn't get his ultimate persona. But I'm pretty sure you need Orpheus to fuse it. You have obtained a new persona. I discarded it on the second playthrough pretty quickly.
Is it over?
Because it's not very good at the... I mean, it's okay at the start, but you know, it doesn't get super powerful. It's obviously can be used for the ultimate persona, but I don't know how you get that by maxing everything out. Maybe a New Game Plus? I'm not sure. But you know, it takes up an inventory slot, and since I was playing on New Game Plus, I was like, screw it, I only need like personas for, you know, social links. And since you're the fool, and the fool, you know, levels up automatically, I don't really need that one. But I'm going to keep Orpheus for now. At some points I will probably fuse him with an old persona, you know, so that I can work on the social links. On with the boys. Or should I say battle? Our first official battle! Our first one didn't count because it's cutscene. So we're not even getting a tutorial, eh? So you got skills with your persona. Bash is light strike, but it takes HP. There are two types of attacks. I think it's called SP. I can't remember. But the 60 right there is HP, 41 SP, which is basically MP, whatever you want to call it. Our current persona only has moves that takes 5 of our HP to use a physical attack. But there are personas that have moves like fire, ice, wind. Those moves will take up our SP or whatever it's called. So be mindful of that. Or alternatively, we could just hit them with a weapon. amazing lyrics, isn't it? Ooh yeah! You know, it just makes me think of that freaking Justin Bieber song, but you know, unlike that song, this is pretty catchy. But it basically doesn't really have a lot going on lyrically, does it? It's fast as Nova. Now I was playing Persona 5, what is it called again? Strikers. It's a spin-off of Persona 5. I haven't really properly played it in ages. I kind of got close to the end of the game and then kind of lost interest because I was doing side quest stuff. So I got the DLC, right, that allows you to change the soundtrack during battles. And that included that soundtrack that I was just playing now. So that track would occasionally play, and then you get music from Persona 4, and then music from Persona 1 and Persona 2 and stuff like that. You know, to spice up the battle music. We gained a level, and we're feeling good. We're not feeling as great as we did yesterday, but we're still feeling good. Yes, spirit points. So now up to level 2. Yeah, you basically have to be at certain levels to obtain certain personas. Also, we're a slacker, we're playing in mechanics. These cycles change. Orpheus has leveled up. Your endurance increased by 1, agility by 2. And you learned Agi, which is a fire attack which takes up spirit points when you use it. Which is, you know, better than wasting our HP.
Are you okay?
Plus those attacks, you know, have more variety because shadows will have... Most shadows will have at least one weakness. Some don't even have any weaknesses, usually they're boss fights. But, you know, if you can exploit the enemy's weakness, you can get multiple shots, so... Good to keep in mind.
Oh, come on! Say something!
Are you alright?
I don't think the protagonist has said anything ever, except for when we replied to questions. But not this one.
Can you hear me? Please! Answer me!
He's gonna be outers for a while. Meanwhile, we're gonna visit the Belgium again. The Velvet Elevator. It's a big elevator, though.
It's so nice to see you again.
It's been 52 minutes. Perhaps we'll meet it at an hour mark for these parts.
You became unconscious after awakening to your power. It's nothing to worry about, though.
You know, being unconscious for a long time, it's perfectly natural.
So just relax. By the way, I see that it was Orpheus that heeded your calling. That power is called a persona. It is a manifestation of your psyche.
My psyche?
It may take some time to fully comprehend.
For you see, young lads, Persona is a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei and goes over a lot of psychology in its theme. Hence Persona. You take on personas of various things from mythology and fiction and such, and you take on their powers to use against the shadows.
A persona is a facet of your personality that surfaces as you react to external stimuli.
Oh, you know what he said.
You can think of it as a mask that protects you as you brave many hardships.
But that's basically what it is, you know, Persona is all about that psychology kind of thing.
That being said, your power is still weak.
I found it funny for him to say that when I was playing on New Game Plus. He's like, are you sure I'm like level 80 something? It's like, I can one-shot a freaking, you know, first boss, probably. I can't remember if I one-shot a first proper boss. But those enemies that I encountered, you know, those in that first battle, one-shotted both of them. Didn't even need to use the persona. What do you mean, weak?
When you use your persona ability, you must channel your inner strength. The ability evolves as you develop your social links, your emotional ties with others. The The stronger your social links, the more powerful your persona ability. Please remember that. Now then, time marches on in your world. I shouldn't keep you here any longer. Next time we meet, you will come here of your own accord. Until then, farewell.
Now it's a shame they didn't have Igor's voice actor for Persona 5. They had a different one. Apparently his Japanese voice actor did pass, so there's that as well. My mind is getting clearer. You wonder how long you've been asleep. But you know, his English voice actor is still alive. You feel someone's presence beside you.
You're awake. How do you feel?
Is this Skyrim? Where am I?
Thank goodness you finally came to. How much sleep do you need? It's been a whole week.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's just like, you have one conversation with Igor and a week passes by. It makes me think of Digimon. In the digital world in those games, time passes slow in the real world compared to the digital world. It's the opposite here. The dream world, everything is going super fast in reality.
I was so worried about you. Oh yeah, this is Tatsumi Memorial Hospital. It's just a short walk from the station. The doctor couldn't find anything wrong with you. He said you were just exhausted. But you kept sleeping and sleeping. You know how worried I was?
Now there's a character in Persona 5 that has a moment like that. They just kind of go like, they're just like that for time to be fine.
I'm sorry I couldn't do anything. Even though I was supposed to protect you,
You know, it's like she couldn't summon her persona, but you know, up till that point, all we had the context is her putting a gun to her head. It's just like, is she suicidal? No. It was all about being able to, you know, have the balls enough to pull the trigger to summon the persona, which is mental. The protagonist of Persona, the main characters of Persona 4 and 5 had it easy. Well, no, they didn't really. They had it tough in their own ways. I mean, think about Persona 4. Persona 4's theme was all about confronting the side of you don't like, whereas in this game, it's just, you know, just gotta pull a trigger on your head, and that's how you summon your persona. Whereas in Persona 4, you get the embarrassment of being surrounded by your friends and having to face the side of you that you don't like. Super awkward, like. But hey, they don't have to pull a trigger just to summon their personas.
but your power, it was amazing.
What were those things?
You mean the shadows? They're what we're fighting against. And the power you used, we call it persona. We'll explain everything later. I'm sorry I didn't tell you before. I wanted to tell you that I'm sort of like you.
What do you mean?
My dad died in an accident when I was little. My mom and I aren't exactly on good terms. You're all alone too, right? To be honest, I already know about your past. But it didn't seem fair, so I wanted you to know about mine.
I'm not sure if we actually get much backstory for things. I mean, we know his parents died, and I think it was like in some kind of accident. I can't remember if it comes up in the plot. It might, but I can't remember.
It was back in '99. There was a big explosion in the area. Supposedly, my dad died in the blast, but nobody really knows what happened.
Maybe it's connected, you know? His parents died in '99 as well.
He was working in a lab run by the Kirijo group.
Ah, right there, Kirijo group. Oh wait, no, it's not the Kirijo group. It's a group that they worked alongside. That's a character from Persona 1. We'll hear the name be brought up. I don't know.
So, I'm hoping that if I stick around long enough, I'll find out something. That's why I'm going to Gekukan High, and why I was there when this happened to you.
And that's why this part's over an hour.
Of course, I panicked and wasn't much help. It was my first time fighting them too. I'm sorry. You wouldn't have to go through all this if I wasn't such a coward.
I mean, can you blame her? It's a very ballsy thing to do. I would say I was scared too, but I mean, he saw the text, right? I mean, he was a little concerned, but then he was like, ha 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 ha. What else?
Thanks. But still. Here I am telling you all this the minute you wake up.
I'd be very confused. Can you imagine waking up and this is all you hear? As soon as you wake up, you're like, okay, what?
While I was waiting, I thought to myself, I've been hiding so many things from him. As soon as he wakes up, I'll tell him the truth. So, thanks for listening. I've been wanting to share that story with someone for a long time. All right, I'm gonna get going. I'll let the others know you woke up.
You know what, screw it. I'm gonna go for 3 parts. 3 parts. That's gonna do for this part. Third part will have to be under 50 minutes, surely, because hard drive space wouldn't be able to take another 50-odd minute part. But I'm gonna do 3 parts because I need to get our save points. And this part's already gone on over an hour. So see you next time, viewers. See you next time.